All right. Hello, everyone. Another quick session on these different things you've got to cover. One of the really important things that you've got to be able to do is compare some operating systems in terms of their functions and services. And what I thought would be quite useful to do is outline what some of those are. So the first thing you've got to look at are these services and functions. I'm going to rattle through these at quite a pace. Feel free to pause. Feel free to come back. But roughly what I'm going to say is what I'm looking for. Um, so the first thing on the list is machine and peripheral management. Now, this is all to do with how well the operating system controls the hardware that makes up your computer. Okay, bearing in mind things like a mouse or a keyboard or a monitor is a peripheral. Machine management is more things like how it manages the hardware, like the RAM, the CPU, and the hard drive. Okay, different operating systems manage these things in different ways. Linux, for example, is renowned for being quite poor at third party driver support. If you buy a scanner, for example, and plug it in, a USB scanner, plug it in, you might find that it won't work with Linux. You might have to muck around with that and get it working. Whereas Windows is very, very good at third party driver support. Security is the next one we've got to look at. That's all to do with how well the operating system makes sure that the user's data, the user's information is kept secure. Most operating systems these days are pretty good at this. Some operating systems are better than others. Linux, for example, we'll come on to this a bit later on. Linux, for example, is not very well used. Same with the Mac operating system. It's not that popular. So they're more secure because the attackers aren't making vulnerabilities and viruses for those. They're making those vulnerabilities for Windows, most popular operating system in the world. File management. This is all to do with how your files and folders are structured on the computer. Windows, we all know, has the Windows File Explorer, which is pretty straightforward. But Linux and Mac do something different. They use a different file management system. What you need to do is research that and find that out and tell me that. Device drivers. Again, it kind of links into that machine and peripheral management thing. Device drivers on Windows are pretty good, plug and play, we call it. Linux and to a lesser extent Mac, not so much. Features then, the ability to customize the operating system is a feature. For some operating systems like Windows, we can change things like colors, backgrounds, the way the mouse cursor looks, and all that stuff. For things like Linux, you could even go so far as to say you could customize the code of the operating system as it's open source to enable us to fully customize the operating system. We can have a bespoke operating system if you really wanted to. Security as a feature. What security systems are baked into the operating systems? These days, they're pretty strong. Windows comes with a good firewall, for example, baked into it, and virus protection. Do the Mac operating systems? Does Linux? That's what you need to work out and tell me. Ease of management. How easy is this operating system to use? That's what I want you to find out. That's what I want you to tell me. Um, Associated utilities. So, what kind of comes bundled in with the operating system? I know for a fact that Windows comes bundled with lots and lots of different things to help the device become secure. But certain versions of Linux, I'm thinking Ubuntu, for example, come with some interesting things bundled with it, like an Office suite for free. There's loads of other bits that come bundled in for free. What comes bundled with the Mac stuff? That's what I want to know. That's how we're going to compare these operating systems. The final thing is cost and support for the user. Obviously, a really popular operating system like Windows is going to have loads of support available. It's the most popular operating system in the world. If you walk into any kind of computer shop, they should be able to help you with your operating system. If you post online in a forum, chances are someone might have already had that problem. If you're using a less popular operating system, like the Mac operating system or the Linux operating system, you might find the support's not so readily available. You might have to pay a lot in the case for the Mac operating system support, or you might have to figure it out yourself, which is the case for a lot of the Linux support. So I hope this has been useful. Remember, for your assignment, what you need to be doing is talking about operating systems in terms of in terms of these things. Okay, these things on the screen are what you need to explain about operating systems. You also need to compare operating systems with these things in mind. Okay, you can't just say Windows is the best operating system because I can play games on it. You've got to be technical about it. Be and use these terms that are on the screen. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.